research because I saw this Billy Carson thing. I was reminded of, like, you know, how I don't remember what it was that he said because I went like several different tangents, and it inspired me to research like the Garden of Eden, because I'm thinking that the Garden of Eden could either, like, the physical part of it could be in Antarctica, because I'm seeing correlations between like angels with flaming swords could be like, you know, somebody with a gun or whatever. And then that was what today's Bible passage would have been today too. I looked it up, and I'm not going to start until 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes, but I'm just giving a little intro here. Today's Bible passage is Genesis 2. It was going to be 5 and 9, but it's going to end up being 2 and 2 through 8. 2, 5 through 8 is what it is, or 5 through 9, excuse me. So go ahead and sit here and get comfortable, because I'm going to go get some more tea, and I will be back before 4 minutes are up. I got a big thing to do today because I did a bunch of studying, so I'm seeing some stuff and correlations between it all. You're right. Oh, okay, so we got less than a minute left to go. So I was giving an introduction earlier today that it's like my heart was just set afire today because I saw this Billy Carson thing that inspired me to do research on the Garden of Eden, because I also remembered that I'm just seeing correlations between everything and everything, and it's just really interesting to me. Alright, let's get it out of the way. Okay, 10:30, let's go. So, today I saw this amazing Billy Carson thing that reminded me of, I want to say what he was saying was that the Garden of Eden was guarded by angels with flaming swords, and he was talking about going into that. And then I remembered that I saw this really neat thing on Instagram, but it was a TikTok of like people actually traveling to Antarctica, and they were met by some, not submarine, but like a, not an aircraft carrier, like not a freight, I don't know what the word is, but they were met by another barge of some sort when they were like 100 or 2 miles close to it. And after all this extensive traveling that they had already done, the people on the other barge were like, yo, you need to come, you need to go away because this is a very covered area. You can't come in here. We will kill you. And I was like, ooh. So, Antarctica is hiding something. I'm not telling people to go travel there, but the Billy Carsons thing that I saw this morning was saying about how like angels with flaming swords are guarding the specific areas of the Most High kind of thing. And it says in the Bible, it says in the Quran, it says in the Apocrypha. I read like all these little tidbits of all these notes and stuff. I haven't read the Anunnaki Chronicles, but I know it says it in this, Torah, the Quran, the Bible. So today's Bible verse is what was going to be Genesis 2. Genesis 2, 8 and 9, like where God had planted the tree of life. And another tangent was there's a tree of life and death, and the tree of knowledge. Or if there's a tree of life, and he planted 2 trees, which means there's always going to be a decision. You either want to go for the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or you want to go for the tree of life, which I feel like, they're both, if they're 2 completely different things, they're the same side of the same coin, or different side of the same coin, which makes it completely universal, and everything is kind of just allowed and not really bypassed, but it makes it easier for me to understand. And I had this, or let me just read the passages, because it was supposed to be 8 and 9, but I kind of read a little bit ahead, and now it's 5 through 9. Because it says, no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up. For the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. You have to work these grounds is a thing, which like with whatever you're doing, if you want to grow, if you want to learn, if you want to grow something amazing, it needs to be worked on, right? Okay, so that's like responsibility and ownership for ourselves. Part 2:6, but streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground, which means that maybe we don't have to do anything. Maybe, like, I guess back then, before this all happened, before the fall of man, or before whatever happened, before history, things were just able to take care of themselves before we got our big old butts in the way. Which is cool to me, because I notice how much I get myself in my own way, which is amazing, because I'm like, yay, I'm a douche, but it's fine. And I stumble over my words and stuff. Then the Lord God, toward the surface of the ground. Then the Lord, on part Genesis 2:7, the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground, which means I know that like we have the exact same composition as the cosmos, as stars. Like, it is amazing. Our elements are the exact same as stars, so that means we are in fact dust. Whether they follow the Bible, Quran, or Torah, I don't really know what they say about how men were created, but this does make sense, and this can be proven. And breathe it into his nostrils the breath of life. And if he can breathe the breath of life to somebody, then he can also breathe. Since we're in charge of our bodies, we're to steward this ground. We have the ability to breathe in the breath of life, to follow the breath that we were given originally, or we can go to the breath of knowledge of good and evil and just expand ourselves, which might be the same thing. And I feel like if it's the same coin, then it's the same coin. I'm not gonna pressure anybody to do it, but it's interesting to me. And breathe into and the man became a living being. How exciting. Like, I know that he wanted, in the beginning, he was wanting people to hang out, not like people to hang out with, but he wanted people like him. But then also he wanted them to choose to be like him. Or her, whatever. It's the universe, and the universe wanted companionship, which I find that so beautiful and endearing. I love that. And it warms my heart. Like, I'm actually starting to sweat in this sweatshirt. It's like my room is cold. And then it goes to show now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east. This is where it gets good for me. Hey guys. So I'm thinking that if this is the north, or crown chakra could be the north, where everything kind of just opens up, then I wonder if the east would be our heart, and then our spinal column could be the rivers that flow through and then disperse wherever energy needs to go. Like our brainstem could be the rivers that the Bible is even talking about in passage 2. And I'm like getting a little something here. Bear with me though. The Lord God planted a garden in the east and in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. So he put the man in the east. We are already of our hearts, correct? I feel like everybody has a pure heart as it is, whether they let their thoughts or their thoughts produce character, our thoughts produce patterns produce character, like we choose what we want kind of thing, and that's because of the whole shebang of free will, right? Whatever we choose, we choose what we want to be, what we are, who we dictate. Lord God planted a garden in the east, but he put the man he had formed in the east. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground. And so like all kinds of plants were already going there for us. And in passage 9, Lord God made all kinds of trees out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That is 2 separate trees. And if he breathed the breath of life into us, as he stated in passage 2:7, because he breathed the breath of life into that, if he breathed that breath, then he also made 2 trees. Why wouldn't he have had 2 separate breaths too? I feel like the second breath could be the one that we choose for ourselves, which is of knowledge of good and evil, which is cool. Like he's okay with whatever we do. And I realize that is completely about balance too, because if the river runs through and waters and disperses all of the nutrients for said trees and said plants, then I can just go off on this forever. I could like read the entire Bible right here and now, but it will take hours and hours on end, and I'm trying to keep things short and not over talk, because I'm very well known for that, oversharing. But I just, how beautiful that is, and I'll definitely be back tomorrow and to expound on it. But I also, the thing that got me into thinking all of this was the Billy Carsons thing, with him saying that, like, because I researched the Torah, and the Torah, where they had kicked, the Torah talks about how the Garden of Eden is called, it's not so much a place, but it's just like it's in the east, the heart, made all kinds of things. The Quran talks about the Garden of Eden is just a level of Jannah, and Islam version of heaven, the Garden of Eternity, Aden, and it's the same concept. But then both of them are in fact guarded by angels, as was the Garden of Eden in the Torah. These guys all got angels. Why the hell are each of these different books, each of these separate things, that are claiming different versions of one thing, but they all have the Garden of Eden, and all the Garden of Eden actually has angels protecting and guarding it, which tells me that if we are the soil from the earth, we ourselves were entrusted to be the steward of these gardens, of our bodies, of our minds, hearts, and souls. We too need to, with the same, not discernment, but yeah, I guess discernment, and the same zeal of the angels, to protect what we hear, what we intake, what we grow within us. Like, this is our power, and that is why I'm about to do the Declaration of Non-Consent, because it helps me to remind myself that I am in fact sovereign, and in order to remain, not in order to remain sovereign, but in order for me to know that I'm sovereign, I have to do this on a daily basis, because repetition is key, I guess. I'm not really, consistency is key, is a definite key. But either way, here's the Declaration of Non-Consent, because we're about to do this. Oh, this is all the research that I was doing, and they even, like, with the research, I was showed that I'd have to pay like a lot of money for membership, and anybody got time for that. I'll just as soon get books and read myself rather than having it spoon fed for me. But anywho, let's go. We are the source from all source. We are sovereign. We are free. A declaration of withdrawal, consent, and non-consent published as public notice August 19, 2015. A collaboration of work by various authors for unrestricted public use unto a reclaiming of individual sovereignty and by one's individual intent and will. The following is to be declared via effect, and the following is to be declared in effect via the spoken word. This is my declaration of freedom from all control, AI beings and authority structures that interfere and harm against my sovereign free will. Let it be known that I withdraw consent. I terminate all contracts of agreements concluded by third parties and herewith return all liabilities, oh my goodness, and karmic implications to the contracting parties on all levels, dimensions, time, and timelessness. I withdraw consent to having any human being, living organism, machine, entity, corporation, person, secret group, or their representatives, their supporters, their superiors, or unennobled allies, or anyone working for or with any of the above to spy, to look into, to watch, or in any way invade my privacy for any harmful reason. Privacy is defined as my own unique personal life experience. I revoke, I withdraw, and I retract all harmful agreements for all my body's parts, fragments, atoms, DNA cells, etheric essences, and entirety of being as an entire universe that I am, on all levels, dimension, time, cycles, times, past, present, future. Let me pause right there. As an entire universe that I am, and if God did in fact, according to the Bible, according to the Quran too, because I think that the Quran states that we are in fact made of the dust from the earth. And the Torah, I know, and all these separate books with a separate sort of message, with the same message as a thing, just different verbs and nouns is all it is. But if that God planted within us the same soil for us to till, that is what makes this so important for us to just speak, because as an entire universe that I am, that means you yourself are an entire universe, and you have the power and the stewardship over these things. And lest we forget, an entirety on all dimensions, every dimension, time, cycles of times past, present, and future, on all levels of existence, for all my bodies, from the core being of one that I am, to all my bodies across all universes, even in the fullest of time and space, where much is attempted to be in hiding. Each experience of my being is for my personal growth and development. It is not for corporations to seek profit from. They are not to be manipulated and controlled by any person, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, being, except myself. Excuse me. I have a theory. Have y'all seen that, what's it called? Hi, you're Fob. Have y'all seen that Monty Python episode yet? It was funny either way. I'm kind of all over the place. Whatever. It's fine. Each experience of my being is for my personal growth and development. It is not for corporations to seek profit from. They are not to be manipulated and controlled by any person, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, being, except myself. These experiences, which are part of my unique life experience, cannot be used by any other human being, entity, corporation, group, or any other example of someone or something that is not myself in any way that creates money and or capital for profit or control, whilst demeaning, degrading, or negatively affecting my living being. The monetization, collateralization of my personal energy and personal being, myself, for the purpose of buying and selling or controlling or owning, is forbidden and banned under any and every terminology, language, contract that is in being and has been used to control and manipulate my personal energy and being. The monetization, collateralization of my personal energy and personal being, myself, for the purpose of, where was I? Of buying and selling or owning is forbidden and banned under any every language. Where the hell was I? Okay. Any other language. Oh my gosh. Under any and every terminology, language, contract that is in being that has been used to control and manipulate my personal energy and being.
the monetization and collateralization of my personal human body, which houses my unique DNA. That is my private domain. And so, like, whenever I'm in pain and stuff like that, that is my private domain. What the hell are you even doing here? Step, get out. You are not allowed in your pain unless if you're here to teach me, because I learned that suffering is all about learning. So I gotta get my ego out. I gotta, like, first check myself, make sure it's not my ego. And then I gotta be like, well, what's this trying to teach me? What is it trying to tell me? What is it showing me? Because it's obviously not about me. There is something that I'm missing. That I would say, because it's my left leg, which I know is a feminine side, and my lower leg too, like the ankle, and I know that would be considered to be like the foundation of myself, this body, the foundation of this body, and who I am. So I need to take, like, that wasn't me farting, that was me, like, moving in this chair, just for the record. But, like, I need to take a look at my foundation and, like, what it's trying to tell me, and what do I need to sit with, basically, for it. So it's not a bad thing, but the continual pain, because I do sit with these things, and I do nurture them and show my love for them, and acknowledge them and appreciate them. If I'm not learning, then it's not a good thing for me, because all of this is meant for my personal growth and experience. Ooh, Sue. Physical unconscious dimension. I'm just going to start here again. Okay. Financial corporate government in this world or any other world. It's the buying, selling. Let me start over. Buying, selling, owning, and trading of my soul energy or my unique human body on or by any stock exchange, by any institution, corporation, government, religious organization in this world or any other world is expressly forbidden and banned. The buying, selling, and owning and trading of my unique and personal DNA, physical energy, physical body, consciousness, anywhere in any dimension, astral level, time, or world is forbidden and banned. The harvesting of my energy by any group, organization, corporation, government, religious organization, sect, astral entity, galactic being, or anyone who is not myself is now forbidden, banned, and barred. Whatever the form it takes. My energy is my own creation, because this says, as I said earlier, I am a garden that was given trust to steward myself. Step, if you aren't allowed in here, if you're not of the spirit or of my the good spirit, the spirit of light and truth, I'm not allowing you in. I will fight, and I will use all my hedge of angels and whatever that were bestowed upon me as well to fight with this, because we ain't about that life. Such buying, selling, owning, and controlling amounts to slavery. Whatever the form it takes, my energy is my own creation, and I do not consent to having it either harvested for others to use or to profit from. So they can't profit none on that. Such buying, selling, and controlling amounts to slavery, and is forbidden and banned by me under my own sovereign free will and law that I impose. It is given to me to impose. I would draw consent to the use of nanite technology, parasites, or any other type of infectious diseases or infectious technology whatsoever, wheresoever, now in the past, present, or the future, to be used upon my human physical body, mind, consciousness, or soul, whilst I'm living here on Earth, or in any places in and outside of space and time wherein such forces can influence one's being. Let's go. Oh, damn it. I would draw consent to any type of mind control of the use of intelligent technology, implants, physical, etheric, astral, or living and non-living, to be used on my human living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my cosmic body, my light body, my consciousness, or my soul body, which could possibly have any harmful effect upon my physical body, mind, consciousness, or soul in any and every way. I would draw consent to the external creation of dreams when I'm asleep. I would draw consent to any other human being, living organism, machine, government, entity, dimensional being, entity, entering my consciousness on any level at any time ever, if the intent is to bring harm into myself or unlawful harm into another entity. That means brainwashing will not work, especially if it's brainwashing for a second party to be attacked or whatever. This isn't going to happen. Like, protect yourself, protect everybody else with it. And we are the source from all source. That means that if we're the source, we need to protect our source selves as the rivers flow down and feed whatever is necessary, they deem necessary and fit to feed. I would draw consent to any type of frequency wave being used, historically used to target my private and clearly designated unique human physical etheric astral bodies, my DNA cells, my mind, my consciousness, my astral body, my light body, my soul body, in any way that is negative. This includes any secret, exotic, secret, covert, earth-based, and off-world-based technology, which includes locations on the moon, asteroids, or other undisclosed places being used that projects pulses, sorcery beams, or waves of any known frequency which is considered to be detrimental to the human mind, body, consciousness, or soul. I would draw consent to the use and effects of fluoride in the drinking water, in addition to genetically modifying the food grown as well for human consumption. I would draw consent to aerosol sprays being placed in air that I breathe, nor to programming being stored in the music I listen to. I would draw consent to do not accept any programming placing audio and video images I'm exposed to. I would draw consent to the negative manipulation of the weather and to the poisoning of the earth, because I know that these acts are harmful to myself and unhealthy to myself and to others. But boom, boom, boom. I would draw consent to the use of psychics, black occult magicians, archons, demons, and negative spirits, or any entities using mental energies or any other form of frequency, harm, or attack against my living being or bodies, or using my bodies to inflict harm upon others. I would draw consent to exotic machine-like robotic technology, either physically, etherically, or astrally implanted, used in any way to track, alter, torment, attack, abuse, or infect or harm my body, my mind, my astral body, my cosmic body, my consciousness, or my soul body at any time, any place, for any reason. I would draw consent to any deception being used on my living being at any time, anywhere, which creates any negative outcomes concerning the health and welfare of my own personal body, mind, and soul, also known as my personal living being, or my free will, my prosperity, my wealth, my happiness, also described as my life. I'm using my sovereign and lawful will and intention to declare in order that no energetic can deceive me personally in any way that affects me harmfully or negatively. No treating me with any human being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, whether on this planet or off this planet, is valid if that contract or treaty in any way affects my life, my mind, my body, or my consciousness, or my soul in any measurable, negative, and harmful way. No treaty made with anyone, made by anyone, and anywhere is valid if it collaterally affects my living and breathing being, my life, my happiness, my prosperity in a harmful or negative way without my full and comprehensive, transparent consent to said or stated treaty, even if I personally am not party to such a treaty. This includes all corporate treaties and contracts, as well as any treaties or contracts considered to be off-world and or interdimensional. I remove all prior consent to harm, deception, enslavement, or control of my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my light body, my cosmic body, and my soul body on any and all levels, and consciousness on any and all levels. Any previous contracts or perceived consents or any form of tacit or assumed consent is now completely null and void, forbidden, and banned upon all levels of existence. Any contracts made during any of my previous on or off-world incarnations that involve gross deception, gross violation, trickery, mind control, black occult, sorcery practices are all here and now made permanently null and void. Like y'all thought that y'all wanted something for tricking me? It was null and void. So I get all my stuff back that you thought that I had given you, because that was false. False flag. Fact checkers checked it out. Shit ain't real. No contract I have signed or agreed to, either in writing or as assumed tacit agreement, as concerns incarnations in any way, shape, or form upon the earth is valid, regardless of any perceived amount of space or time, physical dimension, or otherwise, has transpired since that original contract or agreement was begun. If any of my previous consents or contract which I was party involved me being under duress and were made as a result of deception, they are all now deemed invalid. If any of my previous consents or contracts involved intentions to use me to serve another selfish agenda or purpose, they are all now invalid. Any person, being, corporation, government, religion, machine, entity, machine, consciousness, or wishes to have a contract, agreement, or treaty with me, my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my cosmic body, my light body, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul body, must do so in complete transparency, with every single piece of that consent or contract explained in full detail, with absolutely no missing information, obligations left unstated or unexplained, and must be written on full with my fully conscious approval and wet ink signature. Public notice to Earth's criminal, harm-inducing appointed caretakers or leaders, including earthly visitors whom are their supporters and superiors, in any being, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, or person aligned anyway with any of these beings. If any such things as listed above are being done or ever were done, then those acts occur without my consent. It will be considered deception and are void and null. All tacits are presumed consent by me. For any act of doing done by another person, entity, being, etc., that affects me in any way that I perceive as negative, harming, or controlling my free will whatsoever, whensoever, wheresoever, is hereby now permanently removed, challenged, and denied. It is denied to any and all beings unless a current contract or treaty has been negotiated with me personally. Notice to agents, notice of principle. Notice of principle is notice to agents. No further notice is deemed necessary. This is now both written and recorded on this planet Earth guide and upon all world dimensional universal YouTubian now records, as well as Instagram records. If any human being, entity, government, religion, corporation, group from this planet Earth guide, any dimension, any universe, any other perceived level of existence wishes to form any contract, agreements, or treaties with me, they must do so face to face in this physicality that this human body resides in on this planet, in full acknowledgement and agreement of my free will to choose to do so only under the agreements written in this declaration. I have the right to my own sovereign free will to update, change, or modify this declaration at any time. So take my power back. What y'all doing? Let's go. Bye. Much love, one love.